we have had an amazing team come together, and they've put together many lessons, different things. We'll have different speakers out to speak with you. We hope that you'll come back when we put those flyers out to try to just give you guys as much education, because this is my 32nd year, and I was an assistant principal at Grayson High School and did discipline. And I can't tell you how many apps our students can hide from you. You think you know what they're doing, but you need to be really vigilant and be for sure, because all banking is online now. Everything is online. Just went to the doctor. I had to go online. They don't give me a piece of paper. They handed me a computer. So again, I'm going to turn it over because we have an amazing team that is putting this together, and they're going to give you an introduction to that. Tia Neal, our assistant principal over the ADEPT program.
Thank you so much for taking the opportunity to come out to meet your students' teachers, but also giving us an opportunity for a few minutes to talk about this amazing initiative that we've had the opportunities to start to implement here at the Buice Center, and hopefully something that can be spread across the county. So we came up with Click with Confidence, but I have a question to ask you, all the students here in the room. And have you ever used the internet before? Have you guys ever used the internet? Some of you might be on it right now, right? Have you ever used the internet before? The internet is an opportunity, and it's something that connects each and every one of you to millions of people around the world, to ideas around the world. We use it for things like recipes. Students here in the building use it for looking up recipes. We use it to play games. We use it for opportunities to be able to look up and pay bills, to access doctor's appointments. So it's something that is there, and it's so easily accessible. When I was in school, we did not have the internet. And so I'm dating myself, but that's the reality. We had to actually go get a telephone book if we wanted to look up and call someone, right? And thumb through the books. But in 2025, our students and we as well have access to so much information. But the thing about it is, what do we do with that information? What do we do when we're accessing that information? How do our students access this information? And so what we did to get started with this is we took a survey of our students here in the building. And we asked our students just a few simple questions. Most of the questions were based on, or they were offered to different levels. So if you're saying, well, my young adult or child does not know how to do or respond to this, we made sure that we provided every single opportunity for them to be able to give us a response to these questions. And with some of these questions, it was what you see here in red and green is whether or not the opportunity, if it was correct, that was a correct response to it with using the internet or a question about the internet, or incorrect. And so some of the categories that we had, or three of the categories that we used, was for online privacy awareness. This means that 58% of the students that answered this question answered it correctly regarding online privacy awareness. For cyberbullying awareness, 67%, a little bit better, that number looks a little bit better, but 33% did not have the appropriate response to what it looks like to even possibly identify cyberbullying and being aware of what that looks like. And then online stranger safety. Like I said before, we get access to so many opportunities to touch and speak with, to hear, to connect with people all around the world, right? But what does that look like for our students? 65% of them were able to answer those questions correctly, that they might have some knowledge about online stranger safety awareness. But the number in the red is even more shocking, because what we really want to see is 100%, that we want to make sure that all of our students are aware of this and what this looks like. Our next survey question that we asked students, what do they know about social media? What does that look like for them? Obviously, the red ones we kind of highlighted because we wanted you guys to kind of pay attention to some of the things that they're using. But you have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I was surprised as an educator here that they acknowledge Facebook, but some students have access to Facebook because of you. As a parent, you might share your phone with them and then they can connect with family members from all around the world. Snapchat, X, which is formerly known as Twitter. And so one thing to mention or to note about this is that 80%, roughly just a little bit less than 80% of our students that took this survey frequently go on YouTube. How many of you, as other adults in the room, parents, guardians, have been on YouTube before and seen the transformation that YouTube went from just videos to the ability to be able to do live streams, to connect to people through live streams, right? Yeah. And then look how this connects though. I chat with others while playing games online. Almost 40% of our students are accessing it. And they're using that as an opportunity to game with others, to explore new ideas, to figure things out. They're on YouTube. We have students in here that attend Buice that are phenomenal. They are YouTubers. They created their own accounts. They have their own, not businesses, but their own streaming that they do when they're gaming and sharing. So they're sharing themselves out with the world, right? But the next question up to that is though, who are they sharing it with? If we talk about how internet safety, and if their students are understanding what that looks like to be online in a situation with someone that they don't know, what are some of the cues and some of the things that should be alarming, that should red flag them, that they can identify and say, oh, pause, let's not say, let me exit, let me block this person. So, you can play the video, but for this quick clip, is it all that bad though? We talked about how we use the internet to pay bills, to make doctor's appointments, to get recipes, to connect with family members, to showcase our talents to the world that we may not be able to do from Gwinnett County, but someone in California picked up on that one of our students is a phenomenal artist, right? But is the internet really all that bad? It's a tricky thing, the internet. You might have to. There we go. I got it. So should you be concerned about it? How long are students online? What does that even look like for us? Just a quick snippet from the eyes of a young adult.
The other day, I was scrolling through Instagram and I come across this post that says social media is bad. So I think to myself, I'm looking at a post about how posts are bad. Oh, but that's not even the best part. The best part is I click on it and the caption says, save this for later as a reminder. So basically, they want me to get off social media, but to get back on so I can reread why I should have been on in the first place. This got me thinking, and I realized that it's so often taught that social media is this horrible thing. In fact, at the beginning of each school year, most high school students are sat in a safety assembly. A part of the safety assembly talks about safety on social media. They tell you how you're going to get catfished or kidnapped, but they stop there. They don't tell you how you can use it in a safe and beneficial way, and unfortunately, those are very real things and do happen way more than it should. But the way to stop that is to teach teens how to use it in a beneficial way. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize the true impact that social media has on us. In fact, I didn't realize the true impact until one day my English teacher, she said, class, what is the purpose of children's books? So I thought to myself, okay, well, there's multiple different reasons for children's books. But one of the biggest ones is to teach children lessons without them realizing that they're learning. Looking back, I learned not to take food from strangers because Snow White ate a poisonous apple. See, back then it was children's books. But it's no longer just children's books, it's all the content we're choosing to surround ourselves with. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of it. I'm currently reading this book. It's called The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down. And the author of this book, they say, the world is neither good or bad. It's just there. And the way we perceive the world is based on our individual experiences. So let's think about that from a social media standpoint. There are 7 billion people in this world. And in our day-to-day lives, we don't even interact with 1%. In fact, it's far less than 1%. So the way we learn about life outside of just our little bubble is through things like traveling. But unfortunately, we can't always be traveling. So another primary way we do this is through social media. Therefore, if your social media is filled with drama, toxicity, and things that make you feel bad about yourself, naturally, you're going to view the world as more of a negative place. Whereas if your social media is filled with positivity and things that align with your goals, you're going to view the world as more of a positive place. See, the problem isn't social media. The problem is how you're choosing to use it. I hear a lot of stories about people having.
So as knowledgeable as that young high school student is, she's a young adult, just sharing that. Is the internet really all that bad? I mean, just think about it. When I leave from this building, I'm gonna go home, relax, and part of that relaxation for me might be scrolling through some really funny reels on Instagram, just some things to take my mind off it. Is it really all that bad? But then if I'm not aware of how to use it, that changes the ballgame. It changes what it looks like, right? So for our part of our initiative, you go to the next slide, is that Gwinnett County has a response to this to be able to support parents. And through this, we'd like to share this app with you, and this is not application, but this website that the county has partnered with called Parent Protect. And Parent Protect is and again, talking about a lot of information for teachers, but also for parents. And it's a free account that you'll have access to, that you'd be able to go in and to find out things about what type of software you can use to mirror your young adult cell phone. It talks a lot about different internets. It talks about what cell phone might be better for someone with a different type of learning ability, or what that looks like with different softwares and how to download them, how to use them. And so with Parent Protect, I know we're running out of time, so it's like a 1-minute video, but the point in us using this is to not only help support our students, but then to also give you opportunities to learn something and give you opportunities to be able to ask questions, and then to support your young adult as they navigate through using social media, as they navigate through life with using the internet and what that looks like to use it responsibly, to use that appropriately, to be able to identify unsafe situations, and then also to be able to share something fun with you, to be able to show you what they can do. And so if you scan this QR code here, and I don't think we need this one, but if you can scan this QR code, we've asked the students lots of questions. Now we want to ask you some questions. We'd like to see what you have experienced, what you know about the internet. And we're going to take that same knowledge and then figure out a way to combine and give opportunities for you, whether or not it's to come back to the building, for sessions and things to learn about tech and different tech programs and options through Parent Protect, or if you would like for us to send an email blast or be a part of a monthly newsletter that comes out. We want to know how it is that we can connect with you and support you as parents and guardians of young adults in this building, and young adults with students who are coming through Gwinnett County and going into the world. So if you have a few minutes with your cell phones before you leave, if you could scan the QR code to just give us a little bit more information. But as we navigate through the rest of the school year for students will participate in teacher-guided lessons on internet safety, social media usage, using things appropriately, what appropriate even looks like what does that even mean? Identifying safety on the internet, identifying software that's beneficial and helpful for them as they grow and navigate in the community. And as we continue to do that, we'll share those same tips with you, however you'd like to receive them. If you have questions, you can give us a call. Our TST, our tech, Kim McCarthy, is also here, who is phenomenal in working with Parent Protect and identifying things. So please, 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 if you have access to this, to do this now. We'd love to get feedback from you and how we can support you as we navigate with your students through this initiative. So thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. And we'll give it back to Ms. Bacon.
We did hand out a paper that has that QR code too, as well. So if you would please do that. Talking about technology, we are live streaming tonight, and I was amiss to not welcome our folks on live stream. So welcome to everyone there as well. We're going to move and allow you an opportunity to meet with your teachers or teacher teams. And so you should have been given a map that looks like this, okay? And they've coded, oh, I have that upside down. They've coded it for you. If you are unsure, if you look on the back and look for your teacher, it will tell you where the locations are, okay? So it's coded in the front. It says locations, team AB, and where that is, team CD. The Bridge High School is Portrait of a Graduate. The middle school is in the Bridge PLC and Bridge Vocational Lab. So if you know your child's teacher or young adult's teacher, you can look here. If you have questions, there are many of us around the room, we'll be happy to get you where you need to go. And again, thank you so much for coming in. I'd like to do a plug. I noticed some of y'all are looking up at the TV. We are starting a clothes closet here at the Buice Center to serve our community, not just our group, but just the community. It's a great vocational skill for our students and a great opportunity for them to learn community service and support. So if you have donations that you would like to drop by, that would be great, primarily clothing and those types of things, but we're happy to take those. So thank you again. At this time, we'll move to our next locations, and if I'll be around and here and up front as you exit tonight, if you have any questions or you need anything, feel free to stop and ask me, okay? Thank you again, and we'll move to our next locations.